What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be going over something that Rangers just released, and it's the voting polls for Rangers Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year and your favourite goal of the year. I'm also going to be talking about the players a little bit, particularly Jake Hastie and Robbie McCrory, and then I'm going to be finishing it off with talking about Castore, the kit launch a bit more, and about the Mega Store reopening. Just before we do jump into the video here, guys, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like in the video and subscribe if you haven't already. It's completely free to do so and helps the channel grow. But we're going to get into this here, and I do want to hear your feedback down in the comments below and what you think of the opinions in this video. Hope you enjoy. So I'm now going to get right into the Player of the Year voting part, and once you click on any of the Rangers links that have been put out on all their social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, it will take you directly to this page where you can see about the voting and vote for yourselves. So we are going to start this one off by talking about the Young Player of the Year, and that is these 5 names that I've got highlighted there. It's Katic, Kent, Edmundson, Hadji and Aribo. Now what I'm going to do is I put out polls on Twitter to ask for other people's opinions and what they thought of the players who were nominated, who they think deserves it. So I've went on to there, we'll see what people think there, and then we'll get into my opinion on it. So on screen here you can see the poll that I put now for the Young Player of the Year, saying who you think deserves it. Katic, Aribo, Kent or Hadji and Edmundson. The only reason I put Hadji and Edmundson is because I personally thought they would have been the least popular players that got voted for. And you can see here, it's literally by a country mile, Aribo from the people over my Twitter, the other Rangers fans think deserves Player of the Year. And I'd like to thank everyone that voted on this and commented over there getting involved, but I've just picked a few of these to obviously so the video doesn't be too long. But we'll start us off here by on screen now. You can see this one from Lockie Logan saying, all have had a class season, but I've had to go with Nico in this one. When he's played, he's looked amazing, and that game at Parkhead, he showed he should be in the starting 11 every single week. Aribo would be a second choice. Boy's got a bright future ahead of him. We've got Bob Steele chipping in saying Joe Aribo. I would have said Hadji for the sheer talent, but he wasn't here long enough. And then we've got Robert or Katic Loyal here saying Aribo, but the voting shows how desperate our academy has been for a long time, and that's something that I will touch on here, because what he's meaning there is there's no youth players from Rangers that has been in that Young Player of the Year, and it would be good to see the likes of your McCrorys and people that have came through the Rangers Academy hopefully getting into that voting poll in the future, because that is what you want from youth players. You want your academy to be successful and coming through. Of course, it's great if you can go out and scout talent that can be in this, like Aribo, like Hadji, that we have had, great, but you would like to see some homegrown talent getting into that voting poll in the future. So now I'm going to move on to my thoughts about it and who I think deserves to be Player of the Year, or the Young Player of the Year. And for me, my vote will be going to Joe Aribo. And for me, Hadji, I think, is a shoe-in to be it next year. I think a couple of people touched on it there, saying it's just the length of time that he has been here, because you just know from the short time that we've seen that boy, he is a special talent. Kent, for me, a bit, the whole team were inconsistent, maybe barring a couple of players, a handful if you're lucky. But Katic, again, in and out of the team. My personal favourite centre-back, but I don't know if I can quite put him up as the Young Player of the Year. Aribo, he's got a couple of standout performances, especially against Celtic as well. He's stepped up when we needed, he's looked really good in European football, and just for me, I'm going to agree with the majority on the poll and say Joe Aribo, get him to my vote. Time now to move on to the actual Player of the Year themselves, and from the list that's went through, I just picked a couple of the favourites that I've seen out on social media, put them into a poll just to see what other Rangers fans on my Twitter think, and here's the results of that. So as you can see here, 47% thinking Ryan Jack deserves it, 29% Borna and 18% McGregor, and 6% going for others, so Ryan Jack's still won this by a good bit. Some of the comments on that, we've got Callum Stewart saying Ryan Jack, true captain of the team and consistent from start to finish. Shout out to Bonner though, because his form from October onwards was special. Get Gaffer97 here saying Bonner for me, he's came from zero to hero, he's been fantastic for me in Europe and in the league duty. Jack's a very close second. And we've got Corona or Pena _ Cartel here saying Morelos, 29 goals and 10 assists in 46 games. He was unbelievable, and how can you argue with them stats? So now back on to who I believe deserves to win this Player of the Year award, and in my mind there's about 3 people that I'm tossing and turning between here, and it's Ryan Jack, Borna Barisic and Alfredo. Every one of them I think you've got an argument for. For me, definitely them 3. Anyone that's seen them 3, I'm totally understand that opinion and I understand why you've chose that. It was touched on in the comments as well in replies that Borna, he's just came such a good player. He's so vital for us now. He's made that left back spot his own, and we've got to everyone's got the utmost respect for him, because a lot of fans wrote him off and thought he was going to be nobody, he was going to be a dud, and now look where he's at. You've got Ryan Jack, who's literally just Mr. Consistent, does the job, does the hard work of the game, the right attitude all the time, good passer of the ball, can up the tempo when it's needed, slow it when it's needed, just a real fan favourite. And then you've got Morelos, and with them stats that he's had, although like everyone else, they did slow down after that winter break, for me it's very hard to argue against Morelos. So I'm really stuck between the three of them. Any one of them deserves to win it. There should be 3 for this year between them. But I'd have to make a tough decision. I'm maybe a bit biased, but I'd go with Morelos. So moving on to the last category of the video now, and it is the who do you think deserves the goal of the year. And from the Twitter poll that I put out to ask other fans, the winner is Aribo's versus Braga. Kent with his gunslinger celebration against Celtic in that 2-1 win, coming in second with 38%, and then 2% win another. And for me, and I think most people, they're the two that will stand out the most. So to read out now some of the comments that were on that poll, we've got the first one here from Ewan Trueblue saying, Aribo all day for me, and that goal got nowhere near the recognition it deserves. There's a bit of a recurring theme here. The next one is from Dallas saying, if Aribo's goal was scored by Messi or Neymar, it would have been in headlines and goal completions for years to come. And then you've got a last one here from It's Al's saying, in terms of skill, Aribo, but for the special moment, Kent. On to my thoughts now of who deserves this goal of the year, and you go down this list and there's a lot of goals that have been that counter-attack versus Midtjylland, the foes, Barisic against it, man, the free kick that arguably gave him all his confidence and turned him into the player that he is now. Ojo's screamer, the best thing he's ever done for Rangers, let's be honest, against Feyenoord. Morelos, the home and the away goal, that left-footed shot with a peach. Oh, a lot of these are so good. Aribo's was that when we would demolish them nice and early in that game, wasn't it? Kent was the, that one. Arfield, Hamilton was his long ranger. It was in off the bar, wasn't it? Hadji versus Braga. Now, the only reason I wouldn't put this in as actual goal, I know a lot of people may have liked this one just for the pure emotion. Yes, I understand that, but the actual scoring of the goal, it was the deflection. If it went straight in with the emotion, with the pressure, everything, I would have gave it to that. But just because it took a deflection, of course, that moment is literally one of the best moments of some people's lives. It's literally one of the best comebacks ever that Rangers have had, and then to have it in such a big stage as well. Aribo against Braga, Messi 0.2, and then Kent's against Braga as well. But for me, it's got to be this goal here that I managed to get on footage from the crowd, and it was just unbelievable, that full second half of that comeback. But the skill involved in this goal, like some of the comments said, it does not get the credit this goal deserves. For me, Aribo gets that goal of the year. I'm now going to move on to the next part of my video, and it's going to be a reaction to an interview that was released today in the FourLadsHadaDream blog. It was an interview done by Stevie over there of the co-owner of Castore, Tom Behan, I believe it's pronounced. But again, I want to make this clear, this is not stuff that I went and found out. This is from Stevie over at FourLadsHadaDream, so I'll leave their blog page, their Twitter and Instagram down below. Go and follow them on all their social medias, and you can read this full thing, because I'm just going into little brief points that I wanted to bring up. Throughout that interview that was released today, Tom went on to say they've sold 50,000 tops in 36 hours, and if you spoke to Real Madrid, they'd be impressed with those kind of numbers. Castore have an additional 200,000 jerseys arriving in August because of this high demand. A range of new products will still to be announced from August 1st, and I think that's going to be like that black hoodie with the orange Castore and Rangers written across the front of it. Those type of things I think will be released and talked about on that date. The away top will be launched on August 1st, and it will be all white, but it isn't what has been leaked. Tom also confirmed that there is going to be a black and orange top, but Stevie asked him if it's the one that's been leaked, in which he responded saying he's not seen the leaks, but then he confirmed as well that the white top is the same as leaks, so I'm not too sure about that. And it is very similar to this top here, which a lot of people have liked, so if it does look like this, it might be something totally different, but I'm sure that's going to get flying off the shelves anyway. And another big quote coming from Tom in that says, Rangers should be on par with leading clubs in the Premier League and European clubs. There is a fantastic opportunity to go and get the club up to those levels. If we do, then 7 or 8 million is achievable for the club. With the 150th anniversary coming up, we can go above and beyond those numbers. And one of the most exciting things that have been said in that is the best has yet to come. But again, I really want to put that point out there. This isn't me that's found out that information. That is from Stevie over at FourLadsHadaDream blog. So once again, I'll leave the links down in the description below and go and give that a follow. So as I have previously spoke about in a video, especially the Rangers Project 2022 one, August 1st is the date that the Megastore is going to be opening. It's going to be filled with Castore gear. So I hope you've got your camping gear, your tents, your waterproofs ready, because you're going to need to be there from 4, 5 in the morning. If you want to get there with queues, social distancing, if you don't want to be queuing back to the city centre from Ibrox, you better get there early, or better just go a couple of days later, because that is going to be mobbed. Now my last part of the video moving on to is talking about McCrory and Hasty. And Hasty going out on loan, I've seen a few mixed opinions about him going to Motherwell, and for me, I'm all for it. I'm all for this loan. For me, I don't think he would get near the team right now. I think you've got Jones, Kent, Aribo, Hadji, a lot of players who can play on that wing that's better than him, and what he needs is game time, and I just don't see him getting that at Rangers right now. And we've also included that option to bring him back in January, which is important because you never know what kind of injuries, etc. we might end up getting. But for me, Motherwell's a good mood for him. He's got a lot of friends there. He's been posting all over social media saying he's happy with the move. You know the player's going to be happy, and if someone's enjoying their football, they're likely to improve. And now moving on to talk about the goalkeeper McCrory. No, not Ross. We know he played excellently in that one game, but we're talking about the actual goalkeeper. He's extended his deal with the club until 2023, and for me, he's going to be the long-term successor over Griggsy in goals, because you know McGregor's still going to be the #1 for the season to come. You've got McLaughlin in there, so at least space McCrory to go out on loan and get another year of first-team experience, hopefully under his belt. And when he's been out on loan at Livingston, Queen of the South, everyone's been raving about him, saying he looks fantastic, so hopefully he can replicate that when he does eventually come into the Rangers team, or when I think he will come into the Rangers team in the future. But let me know your thoughts about that down in the comments below. Like, would you like to see him going out on loan or staying here to try and be the backup keeper? But is that going to be McLaughlin's job? But that's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed watching this one. It's one that I've enjoyed making. It's good to be back talking in front of the camera to you guys again. So I appreciate you all watching, and if you have made it to this part of the video, if you haven't left that like already, please do so, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out a lot. But thanks again for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.